didn't have to knock me out, but I'm still holding the throne. You never know till it's over. So pretty it hurts. Just beware of.
All right. All right, everybody. Harvey Talks Prison here. I got a guest from Australia on, Bellah, and I'm going to just let her introduce herself and tell her story. Go ahead.
Okay. In 1996, I was charged for a murder, and they made me NGMI, which means not guilty mental illness. And yeah, I'll ask the questions. Be easier, I think.
Oh, would it? Well, the murder you was charged with, was you guilty of that or not guilty of it? You don't have to say, but I mean.
Yeah, well, I knew what was going on at the time.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I knew.
So did you get any time?
I knew what was going on at the time.
Did you get any time for that?
Yeah, I ended up doing like over 23 years in institutions, like mental institutions and jails.
And we talked a little bit before, and you said something about them forcing you to take medications.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they kind of circle you, and you know, in the beginning they held me down and you know, injected me and you know, forced me to take medication. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what they do.
A lot of people don't realize that they do that over here in the States too, you know, and everybody. For people over here in the States, it's hard for them to believe that they do that. And they still do that this day and age, and they do, you know. And like you said, they strap people down, they hold on to them, you know. So 20.
Yeah, it's quite horrible.
23 years. And how long have you been out?
Yeah, since 96. I've been released a couple of years now, and I've just been told that after all these years, it was PTSD and it wasn't even schizophrenia. So, you know, it's a bit of a shock.
Yeah, but that's to be expected after what all you went through. But
so many,
you know, it's
yeah, many years of medication and you know, sort of being shuffled around from hospital to hospital and forensic jails and
so they didn't even keep you in one hospital.
Yeah,
shift you around.
Wasn't a nice experience, you know. Yeah, because they kept saying there's nothing more we can do for you here. You know, you're so well, and they kept saying that. You know, you're so well, and yeah, so we should move you on. You know, but we can't release you because of the, you know, the legalities, and you know, tribunals wouldn't release me, and on the conditional release because of you know, the seriousness, because it, you know, it was murder. So right. Yeah.
So when they charged you with murder, they didn't sentence you to the prison. They sentenced you to a mental institution.
Yeah, they officially sent me to Malwa, and well, that didn't last long. So you know, they ended up jumping me and, you know, holding me down and injecting me.
Was this in Sydney?
Because I had an argument with the receptionist, and
there. Thank you, froze on me. think our screen's froze. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Oh, we're back. We lost you there for a minute. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
Um,
That's okay. That's okay. I was like, you want to start that all over again?
we just continue from here.
No?
So,
Okay, right. Yeah, so they sent me to a men's jail. And, yeah, that was quite daunting at the time, being the only woman in Australia sort of going to a men's jail. And they put me in a cell there and, sort of kept an eye on me, of course, but I was in with men, and they were trying to say that I was the most dangerous person and, woman that they'd met. And I was like, what's going on? Like, it's a bit full on. And, so then they transferred me back to Malawa, and I had an argument with someone, and that didn't turn out too well, and they dragged me off again. And, what happened then? Yeah, they sent me back to the men's jail, and they said, look, we're going to have to send you to hospital. And, one of the guys was saying, oh, you should go forensic. It's like, for the big one, you should go forensic. You'll go to hospital and you'll get leave and, all this stuff. And then I was being told by a family member at the time, if I don't take that decision, I won't see my children. They won't bring them in to see me, and they didn't want to bring him into a jail. So, it was a big decision, and I decided I'd take the hospital. I didn't want to not see my children. They were sent interstate, back to Adelaide. I was in Sydney, and it was huge.
this was in Sydney?
Yeah, so I ended up going. Yeah, this happened in Sydney. Yeah, and I ended up going back to a hospital, and I was in a lock ward for like nearly 2 years, with men and women mixed up. A lot of psychotic people coming in through the door, swinging through every day. A lot of punch-ons, a lot of arguments. People, not understanding that you've got a can of Coke and they don't. And like you're lucky to have a can of Coke, but or you got cigarettes and they want your cigarettes. And I was fortunate. I went in with some money, and I had the opportunity of every now and then someone would go down the shop, and you can buy cigarettes, and and not everyone was sort of understanding that that you had cigarettes and they didn't. So there'd be a lot of punch-ons, and trying to steal your clothes, and like people trying to come into your room and steal your things, and so it's getting quite violent. And
So was there any hospital that they
that was the
treated
first
better?
one.
Was there any hospital that
Sorry.
better than others?
Yeah, I guess like there was somewhere it was quite relaxed. Roselle. I went to a hospital called Roselle. I was in the cottages for a while there. I thought that was after about 15 years or 13 years or something. You lose track. They transferred me finally. I think it was 15. It's not sure.
So did you?
Yeah, but unfortunately, one of my friends was murdered there, and it was very sad. I've lost.
You got friends still in there, you said?
Yeah, I had a good friend, and he ended up being murdered there. So, hang on, I think I'm losing you. I'm not sure if you can see me or not.
Still see you. Well, I see
You
you.
can still see me? Right, okay. All right. It's just, I thought I had to plug it in for some reason. Oh, no. Right, okay, we'll just put you there.
Well, I only got 30
Right, okay.
minutes here anyway, if we can just last about 15 more minutes.
Sorry?
I said that this is only 30 minutes.
Okay, great. Okay.
So if we can just last a little bit longer, we'll be all right.
Oh, my 30 minutes of fun.
Oh, you got a little ways to go yet.
Okay, yeah.
So,
Yeah. One of my friends was murdered there in Roselle. That was David. Yeah, and that was quite devastating. And yes.
Was that by
So
staff?
then they transferred us all to another hospital, Concord. Sorry?
Was that by staff or by other people?
Yeah, someone stabbed him. So, yeah, a fellow patient, yeah, who had also come from the jail, transferee, and he was just about to get out too. So he had just got his conditional release. It was quite sad, more than quite sad. It was devastating. Yeah, after he did many years himself and tried very hard to get his life together. So, yeah.
And then
his last few days, he was very happy.
He's about ready to get out, and he gets killed. That's messed up.
I know, and yeah, it wasn't the first time. There was quite a few people over the years murdered or killed themselves. Yeah, big sort of suicide problem there. Yeah,
so since being
it's always devastating to see people who. Sorry.
I was just going to say, since being out, besides the PTSD, are you doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Yeah, I've just got myself a unit, and yeah, I've got a very loving partner, and yeah, I have a cat around here somewhere. I don't know where he's gone. He did make an appearance earlier. He had his little tunnel here. I was going to introduce you if he turned up, because he likes to sort of get in the way sometimes. So yeah.
It's always good to have a pet around,
It's fantastic. He's been great. He was a rescue pet. Yeah, my partner found him in a truck yard while he was working, and he was dying in the sun, and he brought him home to me, and he's been mine ever since. Like, he's 17 months old, and yeah, so yeah.
When you said you was in the hospitals, was that in mental institutions and stuff, was that straight, or did you get out and go back, or get out and go back?
Well, after about, 15, 16 years, I was transitioning, they call it, into the community, and I missed an appointment. I was like 5 minutes late for an appointment, and I got a phone call. It was an appointment for a psychologist to get conditional release, and they ended up calling the SWAT team on me. So I took off. I had my my dog, which my son had given to me for Mother's Day, and we ended up running down the road and out the back road and down the alley, and he took off, and so I had the SWAT after me, and they were looking for me, kicking doors in, and it was pretty full on. But you don't hear this type of thing, what's going on behind the scenes with people who are in the institutions that take off from that. So or what's really going on. It's quite it's quite sad that we're sort of like pushed and shoved under the carpet.
Well, that's why I have you on here, because
they can practically do whatever they want.
For you, That be knowing what's going on in there,
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
but that's messed up that you was only 5
I'm sure a lot of people have been there when they need to.
You was only 5 minutes late, and they called the SWAT on you?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was 5 minutes late for an appointment, and yeah, they rang up and they said we've called police, and my case manager came out and said, look, you know, gave me a heads up and said, well, you know, it's not just a knock on the door, Michelle. It's, you know, you're going to have your door kicked in, and you know, I suggest you either hand yourself in, or you know, you decide what to do. So I said thank you, shut the door, and grabbed the dog and ran out the back. Yeah, I felt like I had no choice. Yeah.
They're still messed up that you was only 5 minutes late for your appointment, and they crashed in on you like that. I'm not sure if they.
Yeah, yeah, it was unfair, especially going up to conditional release. Yeah, I had 7 nights overnight leave at the time. They said they'd made a mistake. You can't actually have 7 nights overnight leave. You can have 6 nights overnight leave and 1 night there. And you know, they made a mistake. Yeah. So there's many years of more medication, and they tried many different medications on me. Injected me with many different types, and my heart failed, and I ended up in hospital, and
Sounds
you know,
to me,
they
sounds to me like they was just experimenting on you with different medications.
yeah. Oh, they do, yeah. It's a big thing with drug companies. The drug companies come in and they say, look, you know, we want you to try this medication, and you know, have you got any patients that, you know, have bipolar or mental illness, like schizophrenia, schizoaffective disorder type, or you know, I'm pretty sure they say, well, you know, just say that they do, you know, and try this medication. Look, I'm, you know, there is a lot of people who are quite unwell, but you know, I know there's a lot that, you know, really didn't deserve a lot of the treatment that they got, you know, and yeah, so staying too long, many years, you know, and
So,
yeah,
you said you have PTSD.
yeah. So
How you dealing with that? You dealing with that all right?
yeah, I'm getting counselling. I get psychotherapy for trauma, past trauma, childhood, you know, adult and teen. Yeah, because I get nightmares and stuff like that. So yeah, which has got nothing to do with schizophrenia. And yeah, so, and I knew that, but you have to, like they call it, playing the game. And yeah, so you've got to sort of go along with what they say, or you don't get out. You know what I mean? You take this medication, or you're not getting out. You know, there was many years where, you know, I could not be 2 minutes late. I could not be 5 minutes late. You know, for being back from like a half-hour ground leave or something like that. I'm like, you know, okay, you get ground leave, but you have like these invisible chains, and you have to be back. If you're not back, well, you know, you lose your leave, and you basically starting all over again every 5 minutes, you know, and they do that for many years. So, you know, and they say, I'm like, okay, we'll play the game, you know. So it's not a game, you know, it's not a game, it's a game of life, you know, of course. And yeah, and you don't want to be playing any games, you just want to do your time and get out. But it doesn't always work that way, you know, and unfortunately some people never make it out. Yeah.
So, do you think us doing this? You think this is going to open people's eyes? You know, because that's kind of what I'm hoping.
It's kind of what, sorry?
You think people will understand better now that if they see your this video, you think they'll understand better what's going on, or if they will even, you know, because I know over here a lot of people don't believe that stuff goes on. But I know
I'm not sure. I'm not sure because yeah, I think they'd have to talk to me a lot more about what does go on and stuff like that, you know. And yeah, they probably say, oh, well, she deserves it, you know.
I don't believe you
But
deserve that.
you know,
Anybody else in there deserves that. But would you say that these mental institutions that do that, do you think they need to be reformed or just done away with?
no, there needs to be a whole, like, there is a Royal Commission into the treatment of people who are in these institutions. You know, I know that, but there needs to be a lot more said, you know, from the people who are inside, you know, like feel like they have more rights about how long they stay in there, and you know, about their medication, and you know, and yeah, so, and
It's almost sadistic.
basically, you know, feel like they have.
Did you hear me? I said it's almost sadistic, strapping people down and forcing them to take medication, you know. So
they hold you down, yeah. They hold you down, you know, inject you, and you know, in the end you end up just they pull your arm up behind your back and, you know, drag you off, and yeah, sort of that happened quite a few times to me, and I had barely sort of raised my voice, and I'm like, all right, come here, you know, and hand up behind the back and dragged off. So yeah, just for saying, can you please change the channel? I'm sick of this, you know, this show. And yeah, you can barely sort of say anything. I'm being bashed in there, and you know, by staff. And you know, oh, of course it never happened because it, you know, wasn't documented, so it could never have happened. You know, that's, you know, her wild imagination. You know, things, you know, don't happen because you know, well, they happen, but they say that they couldn't have happened because, you know, you're supposed to be so-called mad, you know. Yeah.
well, it says we're getting short on time, so I'm going to go ahead and close this out, and I appreciate you coming on.
Okay, cool. Thanks, Harvey. Thanks for having me on the show.
Oh, I loved it. I hope that people listen to what you had to say, you know, and take heed, you know, because this is a serious thing, you know, and none of the other people I've interviewed have had a story like yours, and so this is kind of unique, and so I'm hoping it reaches people.
Yeah.
But I'm going to end this now, and I thank you for coming on, and we'll try to get this out tomorrow.